My child, stop for a moment. I need you to pause right where you are. Slow your hands. Still your heart. I have been calling you again and again, softly at first, then louder, and you almost didn't hear me. Not because I was silent, but because life became noisy. Your thoughts became heavy. Your heart became tired. Yet even now, as you read these words, my voice is reaching you. This is not an accident. This is not random. This is not something you stumbled upon. This is me interrupting your path because I love you too much to let you keep walking without direction. I have been calling you in the quiet moments, in the late nights, in the ache you could not explain. I have been whispering through your restlessness, through the sudden sense that something is missing, through the feeling that time is moving faster than your soul can keep up with. My child, I am asking you to stop because this moment is fragile, and if you rush past it, you may not recognize it again. This is not appearing by chance. I need you to understand this deeply. I have waited a long time for this moment with you. Longer than you realize. Longer than you would believe if I told you every detail. I have watched you grow, struggle, hope, fail, try again, and grow tired. I have seen the courage you showed when no one applauded you. I have seen the fear you hid behind smiles. I have seen the questions you never spoke out loud because you were afraid of the answers. Through all of it, I have been patient. I have not rushed you. I have not forced you. I have allowed you to walk, stumble, and learn, because love does not drag, it waits. And now, after all this time, after all these turns and delays, you are here, hearing me again. Do you really think that happened by chance? Do you think the timing is random? No, my child. This moment has been forming quietly, like a seed beneath the soil, waiting for the right pressure, the right season, the right opening in your heart. Please don't skip this. I say this not to frighten you, but because your soul is standing at the edge of something eternal. There are moments in a life that pass like dust in the wind, and there are moments that shape destiny. This is one of those moments. I know you are used to scrolling past words, past voices, past messages that ask for your attention. I know your mind is trained to move quickly, to protect itself from disappointment, to avoid feeling too deeply. But if you skip this, you are not skipping words, you are stepping away from an invitation. Your soul feels it, even if your mind resists it. That quiet tension you feel right now, that pull that tells you to stay a little longer, that is not pressure. That is recognition. That is your spirit remembering me. That is eternity brushing against time. And I am asking you, gently but firmly, do not turn away from this moment. I am trying to save you, not condemn you. Hear that clearly. I am not standing before you with anger in my hands. I am not speaking to you to list your failures or remind you of your weaknesses. I already know them, and I still chose you. I am reaching for you because time is moving, and your heart is precious. You see time as days and years, but I see it as windows, openings that allow change, healing, and return. Some windows do not stay open forever. This is not punishment. This is mercy. I am calling you now because I want to rescue you from paths that slowly drain your life, from habits that numb your spirit, from distractions that feel harmless but slowly steal your peace. My heart is reaching for you not to restrict you, but to protect you. I want to pull you back before exhaustion becomes emptiness, before confusion becomes distance, before delay becomes regret. If you are hearing this right now, it means I have not given up on you yet. Let that word sink in, not as feared but as truth. I am faithful, patient, and long-suffering, but love also speaks honestly. There have been moments when you drifted far in your thoughts, in your choices, in your priorities. There were times when you silenced my voice because it asked you to change. Still, I stayed near. Still, I waited. Still, I made ways for you to hear me again. But understand this, my child, every calling has a season, and every invitation asks for response. The fact that you are hearing me now is proof of mercy. It is proof that grace is still active in your life. It is proof that I am still extending my hand. Do not treat this lightly. Not because I am fragile, but because your heart is. I have been waiting so long to meet you here. Not in perfection, not in strength, not in answers. Dear, in honesty. Dear, in vulnerability. Dear, in the quiet place where you can no longer pretend that everything is fine. I have been waiting to meet the real you, not the version you show the world, not the version you use to survive. I want to meet the tired you, the questioning you, the hopeful but afraid you. This moment matters more than you know because meetings like this change direction. They do not always feel dramatic. Sometimes they feel like a soft breaking, a gentle surrender, a deep breath you didn't know you were holding. But once they happen, nothing remains the same. Type Jesus, I desperately need you if you know He's your only true answer. You may feel a strange mix of comfort and urgency right now. That is because love is speaking while time is moving. I am not rushing you, but I am awakening you. I want you to see where you are heading, and where you could be if you walk with me again. I am not asking you to have everything figured out. I am asking you to listen. This day, to allow your heart to open just enough for my words to reach places you have kept guarded. You have learned to protect yourself, and I understand why. But protection can turn into isolation if you never let it down. I am not here to harm you. I'm here to heal you. My child, there is a reason you feel this message pressing against your heart instead of passing through your mind. There is a reason these words feel personal, as if they were written only for you. It is because they were. I know your story. I know your name. I know your fears and your dreams, even the ones you buried because they hurt too much to carry. I know the moments you almost gave up, and the moments you wished someone would just see you. I saw you. I see you now. And I am speaking because I want you to live, not just exist. Stay with me a little longer. Let the noise fade. Let the wall soften. Let yourself be reached. This is not by chance. This is not too late. This is not meaningless. This is the sound of my voice finding you again. My child, stop. Right now. Do not scroll. Do not move past this moment as if it were like every other one. I am interrupting you on purpose. I am stepping into your motion, into your rushing, into your distractions, because if I do not stop you now, you may keep going without ever realizing what you are losing. I know how quickly your fingers move, how easily your attention shifts, how trained you have become to pass by anything that asks you to feel deeply. But I am asking you to pause because this moment was arranged. Not suggested. Not random. Arranged. Before you reached this point, before you opened this, before your eyes landed here, I already knew you would be here. I saw this moment long before you felt it. And I am telling you plainly, this message is not general, it is not for everyone, and it is not accidental. I am speaking to you specifically, not to the crowd, not to the many, to you. If this were not meant for you, it would not hold your attention. It would slide past you like everything else. But something in you knows this is different. The tightening in your chest, the quiet stillness creeping in, that sense that you should not rush, those are not coincidences. That is your spirit recognizing my voice. I am not shouting. I am not forcing. I am interrupting with intention, because love does not remain silent when time is short. I have been trying to reach you for a long time, my child. Longer than you think. Longer than you are comfortable admitting. I have called you in ways you did not recognize at first. Through gentle nudges you ignored. Through moments of discomfort you explained away. Through restlessness you blamed on tiredness. Through questions that rose in your heart when everything around you seemed fine. I was there when you paused and wondered, is this all there is? I was there when you felt that strange emptiness even in the middle of noise. I was there when you sensed that something was off but could not name it. That was me. Not condemning you. Not accusing you. Calling you. But into the good. Patiently. Lovingly. Waiting for you to slow down enough to hear me. This interruption is mercy. It is not inconvenience. It is not delay. It is mercy stepping into your path. I know you were headed somewhere. I know you had plans, thoughts, distractions lined up. But some roads feel normal until you realize how far they take you from life. I am stopping you now because I see farther than you do. I see where certain choices lead. I see how easily hearts grow numb when they are never confronted. I see how souls drift not through rebellion, but through distraction. And I refuse to let you drift without reaching for you one more time. Listen to me carefully, my child. This message is not for entertainment. It is not background noise. It is not something to have fear while your mind wanders elsewhere. It carries weight because it carries love, and love speaks honestly. I would not interrupt you like this if it did not matter. I would not press against your attention if your soul were not standing near a turning point. There are moments when heaven stays quiet and lets you walk. And there are moments when heaven intervenes. This is intervention. Gentle but firm. Tender but urgent. You may feel a resistance rising in you right now. A desire to move on, to minimize this, to tell yourself you will come back to it later. Be honest with yourself. That resistance is not because this is meaningless. It is because this is touching something real. Light always unsettles what has grown comfortable in shadow. Truth always creates tension when a heart has learned to avoid it. I am not angry with you for that resistance. I understand it. But I am asking you not to obey it. Stay here. Let me speak while your heart is still open enough to listen. Please support our channel. Our mission is to bring happiness, peace, and devotion to God into your life. If you wish, you can show your love and support by donating through Super Thanks. I have been trying to reach you through time itself. Through delays that frustrated you. Through doors that closed when you thought they should open. Through seasons that lasted longer than you expected. You thought those moments were setbacks, but many of them were pauses designed to turn your attention toward me. Yet you kept moving. You kept filling the silence. You kept pushing forward without stopping to ask why your soul felt tired even when your life looked busy. This interruption is not punishment for that. It is an invitation to finally notice. My child, this message is not for everyone because not everyone is ready to hear it. Some would mock it. Some would dismiss it. Some would feel nothing at all. But you feel something, don't you? Even if you cannot explain it. Even if you are trying to stay guarded. That is because your heart still responds to me. That is because somewhere beneath the layers of distraction and defense, you still recognize my voice. That is why you are still here, reading, listening, staying. Do not underestimate what that means. I am speaking with urgency because time matters. Not in the way you think, not in panic or fear, but in truth. There are seasons when the heart is soft and seasons when it becomes callous. There are moments when change is possible and moments when it becomes harder. I am reaching you now because this is a window. A real one. And I do not want you to miss it simply because you were too distracted to stop. Love warns. Love interrupts. Love refuses to watch quietly when someone it cherishes is walking toward emptiness. You are not in trouble with me. Hear that clearly. This interruption is not a courtroom. It is a rescue. I am not listing your mistakes. I am not dragging your past into the light to shame you. I already carried that weight. I already paid that cost. What I am doing now is calling your attention back to life. Back to truth. Back to relationship. I am reminding you that you are not alone, not forgotten, and not beyond reach no matter how far you think you have drifted. I know how long it has been since you last felt close to me. I know the excuses you tell yourself about being busy, about later, about when things settle down. I know the quiet guilt you carry when my name crosses your mind. I know the fear that if you stop and really listen, something in your life might need to change. You are right about one thing. Listening changes things. But not because I want to take from you. Because I want to give you back what you have been slowly losing. This may feel like one of the last warnings wrapped in love because love does not endlessly repeat itself without response. I will always be love. I will always be faithful. But moments of awakening must be answered. I am not saying this to threaten you. I am saying this to awaken you. Do not mistake my patience for indifference. Do not mistake my silence in the past for absence. I was waiting for a moment like this when you would finally stop long enough to hear me. My child, breathe. Let go of the urge to rush away. Let this interruption do its work. Let it quiet the noise. Slow your thoughts. Soften your defenses. I am not here to overwhelm you. I am here to meet you. Why here? Right now. This moment was arranged because your life matters, your soul matters, and your response matters. Stay with me. I have more to say, and you need to hear it. My child, I have been watching you. Not from a distance. Not with cold eyes. I have been watching you with a heart that knows you completely. I have seen the parts of your life that no one else sees. The moments when the noise fades and you are left alone with your thoughts. The nights when sleep would not come, when you stared into darkness with questions you did not dare speak out loud. I was there. When your phone was silent. When your room felt heavy. When your heart felt tired beyond words. You were never alone in those moments, even when it felt like heaven was quiet. I saw the tears you wiped away quickly so no one would ask questions. I saw the tears you let fall freely because you were too exhausted to hold them back anymore. I know the difference between the tears you cried because you were hurt and the tears you cried because you were confused. I know the ones that came from loss, the ones that came from disappointment, and the ones that came simply because you were tired of being strong. You may have felt unseen, unnoticed, forgotten. But my eyes never left you. Not once. Every tear mattered to me. Every quiet ache registered in my heart. I have watched you carry weights you never asked for. Responsibilities that came too early. Expectations that pressed on you from every side. I saw you try to keep going when your strength was almost gone. I saw you smile when your heart was heavy because you did not want to burden anyone else. I saw you give when you were empty and show up when you wanted to disappear. You wondered if anyone noticed. You wondered if any of it mattered. It mattered to me. It still does. I saw your confusion, my child. The moments when you did everything you thought was right and still felt lost. The prayers you whispered that seemed to echo back unanswered. The times you questioned yourself, your worth, your direction. I saw you replay conversations in your mind, wondering what you did wrong. I saw you question whether you were falling behind while everyone else seemed to move forward. I know how heavy that confusion felt, how it made you doubt not just your path, but yourself. I was there in every question, even when I did not answer the way you expected. I have watched you grow tired in ways rest could not fix. Not just physical tiredness, but soul-deep exhaustion. The kind that comes from giving too much for too long without feeling filled again. The kind that comes from holding it together while something inside slowly cracks. You tried to distract yourself from it. You tried to stay busy. You tried to convince yourself it was normal. But I saw the weariness settling into your spirit. I did not turn away from it. I leaned closer. There were nights when you felt especially alone, when the world felt distant and God felt silent, when you wondered if I was listening at all. I heard every word you spoke, even the ones you thought never reached me. I heard the prayers that came out messy and broken. I heard the ones that ended halfway because you ran out of strength. I heard the sighs that carried more meaning than words ever could. Silence from heaven did not mean absence. It meant I was working in ways you could not yet see. I saw the moments when you almost gave up. Not always in dramatic ways, but quietly. When hope faded a little. When you stopped expecting things to change. When you told yourself, this is just how life is. I saw you lower your expectations to protect your heart from disappointment. I saw you settle in places that did not nourish you because leaving felt too hard. I saw all of it, and my heart ached with love for you, not judgment. I watched you wrestle with thoughts you never shared. Thoughts about your future. Thoughts about your past. Thoughts that made you feel ashamed, weak, or unworthy. You wondered if those thoughts made you a bad person. You wondered if I was disappointed in you for having them. My child, I was not shocked by them. I was not offended by them. I understood where they came from. I saw the wounds beneath them. I saw the fear beneath them. I saw the longing beneath them. I watched you try to be strong for others while neglecting your own heart. I saw you listen when no one listened to you. I saw you support others while feeling unsupported yourself. I saw you show compassion even when you were hurting. You thought those sacrifices went unnoticed. They did not. Every act of quiet kindness, every moment of patience, every time you chose love over bitterness, I saw it all. Comet, I live and breathe for you. Christ, if your life rests safely in His hands. There were times when you felt forgotten by me. Times when prayers seemed to go unanswered and doors stayed closed. You wondered if you had done something wrong, if you were being punished, if you were no longer important to me. My child, my silence was never rejection. It was never abandonment. Sometimes I was protecting you from what you were asking for. Sometimes I was preparing you for something greater. Sometimes I was teaching you to listen beyond noise. Even when you did not feel me, I was still there. I watched you change over time. I saw the innocence you once carried. I saw how life hardened some edges and softened others. I saw the ways disappointment shaped you, and the ways hope still flickered despite everything. I saw the battles you fought in your mind, the strength it took just to get up some days. I saw the courage it took to keep going when giving up felt easier. Do not underestimate that strength. I placed it in you. I know the moments you felt invisible, the rooms where you felt out of place, the relationships where you felt misunderstood. I know how deeply that hurt. I know how it made you question your value. But I never questioned it. Not once. You have always been known to me. Fully known. Fully seen. Fully loved. Even when you drifted, I watched. Even when you pulled away, I watched. Not to catch you doing wrong, but to be ready to catch you when you fell. I saw the detours you took. I saw the lessons you learned the hard way. I saw the scars you carry now, both visible and hidden. None of them disqualify you. None of them surprised me. I knew your story before you lived it, and I still chose you. My child, nothing in your hidden life escaped my eyes. Not the pain you buried, not the confusion you carried, not the exhaustion you normalized. Heaven was not quiet because it did not care. Heaven was quiet because it was listening, watching, and waiting for the right moment to speak again. This moment is part of that watching, part of that care, part of that love. You are not invisible to me. You never have been. And as you listen now, I want you to know this deeply. I did not watch you suffer without purpose, and I did not ignore you when you cried. I have been closer than you think, holding your story with tenderness, preparing to meet you here, where you are finally ready to be seen. My child, I know you feel it, that pressure you cannot fully explain, the heaviness that seems to sit on your chest for no clear reason, the urgency that rises inside you even when nothing around you appears urgent, the restlessness that follows you from morning into night, whispering that something is shifting, that something is off, that something can't remain the same. I want you to know this first. You are not imagining it, and you are not weak for feeling it. What you are sensing is real. It is not random. It is not simply stress or exhaustion or the weight of daily life. It is a signal, and your spirit is responding before your mind fully understands. There are times when life feels heavy because of circumstances, and there are times when life feels heavy because the soul is being stirred. This is the second kind. I am speaking to you now because the pressure you feel is connected to awareness. Light has begun to press against places in your heart that have been quiet for too long. Truth has begun to tap on doors you learned to keep closed. When this happens, the soul often feels unsettled before it feels free. You are not losing peace. You are being invited into a deeper one. But the doorway to that peace requires honesty, movement, and choice. I want you to understand this without fear. Time is shortening, not because love is running out, but because moments carry weight. Decisions matter more now than they did before. What once felt optional now carries consequence. What once could be delayed now asks for response. This is not meant to panic you. It comes from confusion. I am offering clarity. Neutrality is no longer safe for your soul, not because I am harsh, but because drifting has a direction. Even when you think you are standing still, you have felt the pull in two directions, haven't you? One part of you wants comfort, familiarity, distraction, the ease of staying as you are. Another part of you feels restless, unsatisfied, aware that something must change. Attention is not accidental. It is the sound of awakening. When a heart begins to wake up, what once felt normal can begin to feel heavy. What once felt harmless can begin to feel hollow. This is not condemnation. This is alignment beginning to form. The pressure increases when a decision has been avoided for too long. Not because I am angry, but because delay has consequences for the soul. I have watched you stand in between, hoping things would resolve themselves without you having to choose. I understand why. Choosing can be frightening. It can feel like loss. It can feel like risk. But remaining neutral slowly drains life from the inside. A heart cannot stay undecided forever without growing tired. A tiredness you feel is not failure. It is a sign that your soul was not made to live in hesitation. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to be honest. The anxiety you feel is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to alert you. Anxiety often rises when truth is near and avoidance is close behind. Restlessness often grows when a heart senses it was made for more than survival. Heaviness often settles when something true is being resisted. These feelings are not enemies. They are messengers. They are telling you that remaining where you are will cost you something precious. My child, I speak of time not as a threat but as a gift that must be respected. There are seasons when learning happens slowly, and seasons when response must be quicker. You are in a season of response. That does not mean everything must change at once. It means you cannot ignore what you already know. The more you ignore it, the louder the pressure becomes. Not because I want to punish you, but because love does not allow a heart to sleep while danger grows quietly nearby. Neutrality feels safe because it feels like nothing is being lost. But neutrality slowly erodes clarity and dulls conviction. It softens urgency until a heart no longer recognizes what once mattered. That is why neutrality is no longer safe for you. Not because I demand perfection, but because your heart was designed for direction. A soul without direction will always feel restless, even in comfort. I know you have told yourself that you will deal with these things later. When life calms down, when you have more energy, when you feel more ready. But readiness often follows obedience and not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready can become a way of staying stuck. The pressure you feel is not meant to crush you, it is meant to move you. Just enough to step forward. Just enough to choose honesty over avoidance. I am not standing over you with a stopwatch. I am standing beside you with truth. There are moments when a heart is especially tender, when awareness is high, when response is possible. This is one of those moments. If you ignore it, life will continue, but something in you will slowly harden to survive. That hardness may feel like strength at first, but it is not the strength you were created for. You were created for openness, for connection, for life that flows rather than resists. The urgency you feel is not fear. It is alignment calling you forward. It is your spirit recognizing that the distance between who you are and who you were meant to be has become too wide to ignore. I am not demanding that you cross the distance in one leap. I am asking you to stop pretending it is not there. My child, listen carefully. I am not saying you have failed. I am saying you are being invited. Invited to choose clarity over confusion. Invited to choose movement over stagnation. Invited to choose life over numbness. This invitation carries weight because it is real. Because it is timely. Because it is rooted in love that sees both where you are and where you could be. I know the world around you is loud. I know responsibilities press on you from every side. I know you are tired. That is why I am speaking now. Not when you are strong, but when you are honest. Not when everything is clear, but when your heart is listening. The pressure you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something true is drawing near. Do not be afraid of this moment. Let it clarify you, not scare you. Let it awaken you, not overwhelm you. You are not being rushed into danger. You are being invited out of delay. I am here with you in this pressure, steady and present. And I will not leave you alone as you respond. My child, I want you to listen gently now, without defense, without shame, without the need to explain yourself. I tried to warn you before. Not with anger, not with threats, but with mercy that kept showing up in quiet ways. I am not saying this to accuse you. I am saying this because truth heals when it is spoken with love. And my love for you has never stopped calling, even when you turned your head away. There were moments when you felt a nudge inside, small but persistent. A sense that something needed to change. A feeling that a certain path was slowly draining you. A thought that returned again and again, even when you tried to silence it. That was me. Not forcing you. Not cornering you. Simply placing my hand on your heart and saying, pay attention. You did not always listen, and I understand why. Listening would have meant pausing. It would have meant questioning habits that felt familiar. It would have meant facing truths you were not ready to face yet. I warned you in moments that felt ordinary, in conversations that stayed with you longer than they should have, in discomfort that rose when you made certain choices, in the unease that followed actions you tried to justify. I warned you when peace left quietly instead of loudly. I warned you when joy fell thinner than it used to. These were not punishments. They were signals. Mercy tapping softly before consequences needed to speak louder. You delayed, my child. Not because you were rebellious, but because you were tired. Because you hoped things would resolve themselves. Because you told yourself there was time. Because you believed you could manage the distance between us without losing anything important. I watched you delay with patience, even when my heart ached. I watched you promise yourself, soon, and then move on. I did not leave when you did that. I stayed near, waiting for the next opening. Type heaven is my forever home if your eyes stay fixed on eternity's promise and share this video.